2-goal deficit to win at a Women's World Cup match. They will have to play the Brazilians. The only good news here so far for the United States is the thought that failure tonight would not mean getting the plane home. Not yet.
No, this is the time for it to happen, actually. Right now, they know they're through. You never won a game like this, but you can regroup and grow from these moments.
Was it a speech of Churchillian proportions at half-time from Pia Sundhage? The United States do have a tremendous record of getting goals between the 45th minute and the hour mark in matches. We've seen it here already. 22 of their 90 World Cup goals have come in that period of the game. What did Pia Sundhage say, do you think?
I was just going to say, of her strategy of 7 parts positive to 1 negative, I wonder if she stayed with the 7 there.
Morgan, first involvement. Needed a few of the others to keep up with her. She's fast. From Diamond Bar, California, just celebrated her 22nd birthday. And a chance to hit the headlines here, no doubt about it.
And similar to Germany last night, Sweden goes in a full zonal defensive shape for corners. You can see the targets for the U.S. number 20, Wambach, Lloyd, number 10, 7, Boxy standing all alone. You love that as a player.
Delivery's got to be good. These can't be wasted. Goalkeeper, good punch. Out to Rachel Bueller. Here's Shannon Box. Good run. Played. Will be pulled back. The ball did just cross the line.
And here's Shannon, who typically isn't outside on the flanks like this, but trying to make something happen for the United States. And I'm sure at halftime that is exactly what they talked about. We need to come with more pressure. We need to put Sweden under pressure. They're having too much room to play make and tear us apart.
Interesting to see Sweden's approach to the second half as well. Do they sit back and just try to play on the break? They can afford to do that, but it may be inviting trouble as well. Or will they look to exploit the United States so far, let's be honest about it, shaky defence a little further? Dahlkvist doing well in the centre of the midfield. Surely was offside, yep, against Sjogren. Couldn't get back from an offside position.
She was a good 5 yards offside on that one. Took the referee a few minutes there, it seemed. A few seconds, to be fair, to raise her flag.
Sjogren, who plays in America for Sky Blue. American players will know what she can do very well, and she's done it very well today. Good performances all around the Swedish side. Tunebro to knock it long. Krieger with the header away. USA needing Carly Lloyd and Shannon Box to get a grip on that central midfield as a launch pad for their attacks. Again, going the long straight route, easy for Sweden to defend that. Very easy. Rolling, no problems. Krieger breaks it up. Here's Rapinoe. Tough job for her as well against one of Sweden's best players, Tunebro, the left back. Box does well. Good composure. And here's Lapelbeck joining in from left back.
Good by Shannon Box to bring that down and settle the team a little bit, though. Just doesn't seem like they can get it more than 4 passes strung together right now.
Cheney looking to make something out of nothing, outnumbered in the end. A gang of gold-shirted defenders emerging with the ball. Box again. from long range. Good effort. Goalkeeper spilt it. Wambach unable to take advantage. Lindahl did recover.
I think worth a chance as well. You could see Shannon Box looked up actually to see where Lindahl was when she was to strike that.
Shaylin, a little bit short, almost a hospital ball, but Tunabray made something of that as well. Again, easy for Rowley, trying to get Alex Morgan to use her pace, getting behind that defence. But it's going to need some craft to do that. I have to say the United States are missing the speed of Heather O'Reilly.
They sure are. We've seen Megan Rapinoe a few times not able to get to balls on that right side.
Wambach. And here's Rapinoe again. And then Cheney, well over the bar. Seems to have more efforts on goal than anybody else in the side at this World Cup, Lauren Cheney.
It's amazing how she always finds herself in the right spot. Puts herself in the right spot.
Do you think it's a particular motivating tool for Sweden? Not that they should need any at a World Cup, that they are up against Pia Sundhage, who in the past has even been put forward as a possible coach for the Swedish men's team alongside Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Well, they're very familiar with her. And friendly with her, I'm sure. Not so sure if it's a motivation, but I'm sure it's the catalyst of many good jokes.
But they want to beat her, don't they? For a lot of reasons. Morgan tries to help it on. Morgan hasn't scored since March for the United States against Iceland. Shannon Box. USA can't afford to concede another. That really would be curtains, you feel. Wambach. Struggling to get a real tempo into the attacking work at the moment. Here is Lloyd. Strong tries a lot from long range and no threat really.
No, we've seen a few from outside here for the United States, and that's just against a goalkeeper like Lindahl, who's good and tall. You're not going to beat him from that range very often. Maybe better to try and get in behind them a little bit with a slip pass.
Kicked on by Forsberg, who's been quite quiet on that right-hand side, but others have certainly been performing with distinction. Under a bit of pressure, Annika Svensson, the right back. But so far, the big charge we were expecting just after half-time from the US hasn't materialized.
No, they typically are much better in the second half. And it's been a bit quiet. Almost a bit subdued. You can see their body language after shots going over the bar.
After the ping-pong, Ali Krieger can pick up the ball, the right back. Rapinoe. Good. Great piece of play. She beat Tunabro that time. Just a bit too near the goalkeeper. Comes out for Shannon Box. Can't keep the shot down. And the tale of frustration for the US goes on.
Good piece of skill, though, by Megan Rapinoe to beat her on the outside. Slips it through. Nice little nutmeg on the corner. You gotta love those. And then she's trying to find a seam. Hits it with pace, which is always important. Just too close to Lindahl there on that one.
Rapinoe, who celebrated a goal against Colombia by breaking into a Bruce Springsteen song through the microphone by the side of the pitch.
That was brilliant.
Sjogren. Shaylin. Danger here. And look who was back defending. Lauren Cheney. Just as well.
Good recovery by the left midfielder to get all the way back there.
just looked a little bit off the boil, the United States tonight. There may be a heavy price to pay for that, and the price could well be a trip to Dresden to meet Marta and Christiane and the rest, while Thomas Daneby's Swedish side get a far more attractive game in terms of winnability anyway against Australia. The Australians have something to say about that. Tunabu takes it short to Shaylin. It did stay in play. Taken quickly, referee happy with that. Rapinoe. And that's overhit again. She's not got the deliveries right from that side, Megan Rapinoe. She'll be more frustrated than anybody about that.
And Alex Morgan was on that back post with her hand in the air saying, "Find me all the way back, please." That's where she was trying to get to.
This is a reality check for the United States. A big reality check. Fischer scored the second goal via the deflection. Shaylin. Fischer again, inviting. Didn't get a hold of it. Sliced it.
Sweden doing an excellent job of finding those gaps in between the midfield and the back line, and they are huge right now. Getting in there. Fischer loves to launch him from outside, just didn't get a hold of that one. But good movement again by Sweden. U.S. not getting enough pressure on the ball right now.
The United States not creating any chances. That's the slightly worrying thing. I think there is a question mark of exactly how fit Abby Wambach is, having missed that training and troubled by the sore heel. Dahlkvist with Shogun arriving in the middle to the near post. She took a gamble. The ball was beyond the far.
Good opportunity for a counterattack right there. And they're just not linking. Again, Megan Rapinoe trying to lead that counter. You could see Alex Morgan actually signaling with her hands. Come on, let's go. Get it forward.
We just need one goal for the United States to really catch the mood and start a revival. But if we're honest, not much sign of that goal arriving just at the moment. USA fans pretty quiet watching this at the moment. Lloyd lays it forward, easily defended by the experienced defender Charlotte Rolin. Rolin, who lists Andre Agassi as her role model. Lloyd took an inspired guess that might work for Wambach, but it doesn't in the end, and that's kind of been the story for the United States. Now another change here. Stephanie Cox usually plays left back to replace Amy Lepalbeck. Cox probably gives you more attacking options down that side.
And there's the penalty kick by Lepalbeck. These are the two goals that Sweden scored.
Tough night for Amy Lepalbeck. She might have been red carded.
And Cox does give you more attacking options, but I'm not sure that's enough. I think they should have gone with something more in the midfield.
Working very, very hard. Rapinoe, that's surely a foul by Fischer. Central, and it's going to be a card as well for that. It was quite cynical, I thought, by Nila Fischer. She turned her back, hoping for the best, but
she's been all over the place in midfield today. Banging around. Gets her with her knee, coming in late. I think that is a good call. And here's a good opportunity for the United States to get a breath of life again.
25 yards out, central, almost the exact spot from which Fischer scored for Sweden in the first half via a deflection. It needs something special from there. Lloyd, tremendous hit, goalkeeper spills it, it doesn't cross the line. And the goalkeeper was lucky to get away with this.
Hit it with great pace. You can see it bending a little bit on Lindahl. And no one there for the United States for the follow. Well hit by Carly Lloyd.
Tremendous strike on target as well. Going through some final instructions. Maybe Sweden looking to make a substitution shortly.
And that substitution with Stephanie Conks is an interesting one. I mean, Amy Lapel didn't have the best game of her life by any means. But you go with a back, two down.
Box, all her experience and leadership qualities will be needed out there. Remember, Sweden have never beaten the United States in World Cup play, and this is the third time running, the third competition running the two countries have met. Wambach, by the way, scored both the goals in this fixture 4 years ago. She does have 7 goals in 7 games against Sweden, but no sign of one tonight yet.
Here's the foul by Rapinoe. She had been knocked just before that by Sjogren, so she was coming in a bit angry on that one. The referee saw the second one, and that's the deflection on Rolin.
Who stays down, and they don't want to lose her. Fixture in the side.
No, she's their anchor on that back line for Sweden. Looks like it just knocked the wind out of her, maybe.
Scored a couple of goals as well from defence in a key qualifier against Denmark. Rolin, Hope Solo, coming into this game, 781 minutes unbeaten, playing for the United States. Tonight, conceding 2 in the first 45 minutes. That's how it goes.
One on a penalty kick, another on a free kick that took an unlucky deflection. You could see how angry she was when that deflection came by.
And no team have beaten the United States twice in a calendar year since Norway in 2002. 9 years ago, Sweden on the verge of doing that. That worked for Schelin, got the other side of Krieger. Dahlkvist kept quiet that time and just coming in a little late on Rachel Buehler. That's why there's a free kick from the Japanese referee. The United States fans here have been stunned into silence. They could do with a bit of noise. Long way out, Carly Lloyd, maybe too far really. You don't score too many from 45 yards.
No, and that's where you as a player have to recognize, okay, what's the better option here? I as a central midfielder need to get control of this game. These long-range shots from 30, 40 yards out aren't gonna get you going.
Of course, the question is, if the United States do now have to play Brazil, they go into that game with a massive dent to the confidence from this.
This has been one of the criticisms of this team, and one of the challenges for them is being able to string consistent performances together. But as we said earlier, this is the time for this to happen. And you can regroup, just like those 2 goals against Germany last night, where you can regroup and look at them. When was the last time someone scored 2 goals on Germany? 1999 World Cup.
On the corner, Schelin flag is up for offside here. Won't count, but a good move by Sweden. Going to be a substitution here, the number 11 for Sweden coming on.
Here's the ball in, actually onside. Had looked onside. Hard for the referee to see that one because it's close, but she was indeed onside.
Creative player Antonia Goranson, only 20 years of age, comes on for her 11th cap in midfield. Sjogren has gone off. I think the United States will be quite glad to see the back of her. Very influential. She often is. 25 minutes for the United States to do something about this. They need 2 goals from somewhere if they're going to top this group and avoid Brazil. Rampone plays it long. Goalkeeper, good punch. Thought she was fouled in mid-air as well. Doesn't matter because Sweden have the ball anyway. And here is Goranson straight away on the ball. Krieger looking to get Alex Morgan in. Morgan hasn't had much of a look in so far. And Tunebrew has to give away the corner to stop her.
Well done by Christy Rampone again. She cut that out and then found Alex Morgan over the top, but something needs to spark this team right now. 25 minutes to get out of this hole. They just need a draw to win this group and avoid Brazil in the quarterfinals.
Cheney with that corner kick. Header, he's into the back of the net, and Abby Wambach has got the United States back in this game. Thunders it in, breaks a drought at a key time.
And there's the spark you need. And of all players, the one that has been trying so hard in this World Cup and has had such poor luck, she actually gets that off her shoulder, it looks like. She'll take him any way she can get him here. Off her shoulder into the back of the net, and that is a change of fortune for Abby Wambach, who's been hitting the crossbars, hitting the post, had no luck. Finally, the soccer God smiled on her there.
It's her 10th World Cup goal. What a time to score it. USA needed that because they were starting to look like characters in search of a plot. Remember, the USA need one more to get the draw they need to top the group. Here comes the next cross in. And Cheney couldn't keep the header down. Looks different now.
And suddenly there's a spring in the step. And boy, did Abby need that one going into this knockout phase. I mean, she had been knocking and knocking at the door. That will help her confidence tremendously.
You really will. It's not a bad ball round the corner, is it? For Alex Morgan. Wambach's arriving in the middle. Sweden get that one away. The stakes are pretty high here now, Julie.
Better for the United States.
Eight goals in 8 games against Sweden for Abby Wambach. Likes playing them.
And she matches up well against them. They play a physical game, Scandinavian style. And that's always the danger, holding a yellow card coming into a game like this. And really, during all this drought, we've been saying it isn't as if she's not getting in good positions. She's putting herself in there. They're just not falling.
The goal will energize the United States players. It's been a very, very difficult night here. Rapinoe back on familiar territory on the left-hand side. Might be more effective from there. Lets the shot go. This could be quite a finish here now in Wolfsburg. 2 quarter-finalists we do know about are France and England, who meet each other on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. As we look at the Wambach goal again, that's how her current drought ends. Off the shoulder, she'll take that.
She sure will. It all counts the same.
Look what it means to her. Tremendous record she's got. 119 international goals now in 160 appearances. That is quite fantastic. Still don't think she's absolutely fully 100% fit for this game, but she's battled on and got a reward. Can the US find another? Nicely played. Krieger, Baccini is somewhat irritatingly, from the United States point of view, offside.
Back to Abby Wambach's heel, and here's the offside call. Lauren Cheney clearly off on that one. But back to Abby's heel, she had just said to me a week or two before the tournament she hadn't felt any better than she had right now, that it was finally healed. She had a doctor in West Palm Beach that had taken care of it, and she said it was one of the hardest injuries to get over because it's been so difficult to gauge and manage. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it doesn't. So how she handles the setback will be interesting as well, because that's frustrating as a player.
Wolfsburg on to a left foot with Shaylin, trying to make something of it as well. It was Shaylin. Now then, picked up here by Carly Lloyd, trying to pick out Morgan. Not enough elevation on the pass and cut out by Rowling. Krieger's done well there. Morgan turns into space cleverly. Covering is good by Sweden, though. We're hanging on a little more now. .71 minutes on the clock. Inside the last 20. Here's the dangerous Lotte Shaylin of Lyon. Roller. Getting a big shout from Hope Solar, the goalkeeper. You could hear it from here.
Well, and the rest of the Swedish squad is still 40 yards behind Shaylin there.
Dahlkvist, who's had such a good game, particularly that first half. Sweden looking to keep possession, wind down the clock, frustrate the USA, stop them building up ahead of steam. And on comes the least capped outfield player in the whole squad, Kelly O'Hara, to replace Megan Rapinoe, only her 6th cap. This is the player that came in for the luckless Lindsay Tarpley at the last minute into the squad and to make the World Cup. It's their first involvement ever in the competition. From Fayetteville, Georgia plays for Boston Breakers. So what an opportunity for Kelly O'Hara.
And Pia Sundhagen staying with her principle. We have a deep squad. We're going to use all 21 of these. I think that's a good substitution because Kelly O'Hara is going to give you some pace on that right side, and she will go at players, plays with a ton of tenacity. And she went to Stanford.
And you love that, don't you?
Oh, by the way. Sweden dropping more into a defensive shell, like a 4-5-1 almost, with Dahlkvist dropping into the midfield.
Flipped on by Morgan. She won the header well. Dahlkvist. Great challenge that time from Rachel Bueller. Tremendous piece of work. Now then, here is O'Hara. Krieger goes for the long diagonal ball. And it's cut out by Annika Svensson. In her first World Cup, the right back. Pretty tense here at the moment now. Cut back again towards Carly Lloyd. Could she make anything of that? No, she can't on the edge of the box. Again, good work by Cheney on that left-hand side. O'Hara is losing a footing that time. Tunebrew took advantage. Christy Rampang can get this back. Often troubles with her 2 daughters, Reese and Riley, but not to this World Cup. They'll be at home watching Mum. Watching and hoping at the moment. Here's Kelly O'Hara.
think she was trying to play an early ball in behind.
Krieger. Goranson is away, the substitute, the 20-year-old creator. Not accurate enough that time for Dahlkvist, who's always looking to use that pace to get in behind. 23,468. Another excellent crowd. Lloyd as well. Here's Kelly O'Hara.
And Sweden playing a smart game. They're just staying condensed, bouncing out on counters when they can.
Morgan. Patient, box plays it in. Cheney couldn't get to it. Just that last ball not quite accurate enough to unlock the Swedish defence. Another change coming up for Sweden now, bringing on the number 20, Mari Hammarström, midfield player. And all the players are going to use this to just take on some liquid. Not that it's that hot an evening here. It's pretty hot if you're playing, though.
And a chance for the United States. You see Sweden stretching there. But a chance for the United States to regroup. Because they're within striking distance here. That goal by Abby Wambach changed this game entirely.
Dahlkvist is the player who's going to have to come off here by the look of things. So I don't know whether they're going to have to change their ideas about the substitution. But she's done some damage with that penalty, Dahlkvist. There is the change. Signified Mari Hammarström comes on. 10th cap for her. In some pain as well. Tunabrew with the corner and Hope Solo. Very reliable. Can she get a quick counter going? Tries to, but only Morgan to chase that. Rolene gets it away. Morgan looks to get in between, nearly got there between the defenders and the keeper.
And there's Dahlkvist in obvious pain.
Which will make her a doubt for the quarter-final, which come up pretty quickly on Saturday and Sunday. Australia securing their place earlier on with a come-from-behind win over Norway. And the winners of this game will play Australia. Germany-Japan is another quarter-final we know about. It'll be here in Wolfsburg, 2:15 Eastern on Saturday. Germany-Japan, the host nation. And that game on ESPN3.com as well. One of those nights, this for the United States, or serious problems?
I don't think serious problems, because they created some chances. I think it's a chance for them to look at their back line and assess, because they showed some seams in there that are troubling, but solvable. And if it stands as is, they hit a good Brazil team in the quarterfinal.
Morgan here. Couldn't work it through to Wambach. It was in a bit of space on the left-hand side. You know the way it is with goal scorers when they've had a drought. When they get one, you can sometimes get a whole run of goals as well. I'm sure that's what Abby Wambach will be thinking and what the United States will be hoping. But this has been hard labour tonight.
So if they hit Brazil in the corners, the good news is if you can get through a good Brazil side, who has a very dangerous front seven, but I think a back line that is very susceptible to being beat, because it was very disorganized, then you avoid Germany in the semis and hit them in the final.
There is that.
Any road you have, you know is going to be tough.
But a defeat here, I think, does make it tougher. There's no disguising that. Carly Lloyd to play it in. Sweden quite happy just to get behind the ball and hold on really now. Anything they can get on the break would be a bonus.
I think the most concerning part for the United States is if you come against a team with a Marta and a Christian and Rosanna who are playing a front three, is that back line on the left side in particular for the United States lacks a bit of pace. And Amy Rappelbert and Rachel Bueller, and how do you handle that? I mean, do you slide Christy Rampone in between and put her at left center back so she can cover a little bit of that? Do you go with a Sauerbrunn? Who's been playing very well?
No, I can't understand that. Let's give him as a goal kick. That looked a corner for all the world. How the referee gave that, I'm not quite sure. Let's look at it again. That's a corner all night long, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see Abby Wambach's reaction.
In the corner, it's quite a big decision, really, because the United States goal did come from the set piece. Too near the goalkeeper. Time's running out here for the USA. 8.5 minutes or so. Haven't created that much really in the second half, apart from the goal. O'Hara. And Krieger gave the ball straight to Goranson, unhelpfully really. Bit of tiredness out there as well now.
These are the moments that define a team, though, as well. How they react to this, how they come back from this. You know during a World Cup run there's going to be bumps.
I think the bumpy road might have just developed a few craters. But wait a minute. Here's Wambach. Thought about the cross shot there. It's a difficult angle. Shaylin. Good pressure from Shannon Box, who likes a tackle. Big wake-up call here for the USA. But even if they don't equalise, it's not terminal. They are still in the competition. And you'd have to say, too, what a weekend game that would be. USA-Brazil. I'm not sure Brazil would be too thrilled about that, even though the USA have not looked that convincing tonight.
Yeah, let's not forget that there are so many teams out there who don't want to beat a U.S. team.
Pia Sundhage may or may not know that the United States record against Brazil is 23 wins, 2 defeats and 2 draws. Quite promising, though they were knocked out in the semi-final by Brazil at the last World Cup by a thumping 4-0.
And Brazil, who has never, ever won a title, they've come so close and always seem to fall prey to the United States when it matters. In the last 2 Olympics, for example.
US won the final. Gold
last
medal game.
2 finals, 2004, 2008. So that is not a matchup they're looking forward to.
And it's an unexpected twist to the competition should this game end with a Sweden win, which it might not still. Away by Rampone. A lot of hard talking and thinking to be done in the camp after this game, I think, regardless of the result, even if there is an equaliser. No problems really for Rowling. It's going to take something just a little more clever than that, you feel.
The only thing I worry about with the Abby start as well is that she's now gone another 90. And that is fatiguing, and especially if it's starting to nag on her, that heel. I mean, the fortunate news is, knock on wood, in these last 5, she hasn't picked up another yellow.
Well, there is that. She is on the yellow card from earlier. Now then, Wambach in behind here. The goalkeeper's off the line quickly enough.
from hook solo, flicked on by Morgan.
That's what you call Route 1. It's Route 2 they need, a second goal. Is there to be a dramatic climax here in Wolfsburg, the town where they make the Volkswagen cars?
This is Fischer again, who's just been like a bull in a china shop in there, but has been so effective in disrupting that midfield.
Stephanie Cox on that far side with the throw.
I think the real bright spot for Sweden tonight has been in Dahlkvist.
Cheney to pull this one back, chance, and O'Hara with a chance to put a name in lights, and it goes wide. What a story that would have been for Kelly O'Hara.
And what a turn by Lauren Cheney. Just loses that defender, lets it come across her body and can't put it on target, but Cheney doing a good job of finding her in the box. Oh, that would have been a nice first World Cup goal for Kelly O'Hara.
Playing the biggest match of her life here as well. Imagine that, has she equalised for the USA. Wambach, still time. Long ball, Beulah had to just watch the flight of that and trace it, which she did okay on this occasion. Cox, it's a bit on the ambitious side really. Big Hollywood ball, as some players call it, and easily cut out. Goranson, who looks pacey and clever. One for the future for certain, I think, for Sweden. The Swedish journalists were telling us about her, and you can see what they mean. Taking into the corner flag, looking to run down the clock. Sweden now. They'll be in no particular hurry. Just another check of the maker's name on the ball. And now they'll break it up even more by coming out with a substitution. Off comes Fischer. And then comes Swedish substitution. That's Fischer's goal, deflected off Pelbeck. Linda Sembrant, a defender, to further man the barricades.
Good game by Fischer. Came in for the Sager suspension.
(2-1) to Sweden, and I think, to be fair, there's no real hard luck story here for the USA. Not really. Tunebro.
No, Sweden played a very good, organized game.
Remember, the USA have never lost a group stage match, and this is the 6th Women's World Cup. 17 unbeaten before this in group games. And 15 of those were wins as well.
Well, and maybe Pia Sundhage's positive nature is rubbing off on me, but I do think the United States will recover from this. I think they grow stronger because of it. I think you have a strong group out here who knows they can do better defensively than they did tonight.
And they may have the players to unsettle Brazil's somewhat strangely shaped defence. We'll see at the weekend probably, because it's getting pretty late here. If the USA want the equaliser, maybe there is still time.
Brazil played that weird sweeper with 2 marking backs, and I do think it's ripe for pulling apart.
And that's a discussion for another time, and there'll be plenty of time to discuss it as well before the weekend if it stays like that. Scoreline here, 2-1. Still strong. Shaylin and Dahlkvist. Well, they rub salt in the wound with the third here, Sweden, on the break. They might. Shaylin, and no, she's offside. She's offside. Great finish. It's not going to count. Three minutes of added time there's going to be.
But again, the United States just living on the abyss. Too many times right there. She is onside again. Too many times that you're playing that really dangerous game of holding your line and trying to keep them off. And there is a lot of video they can look at tonight. Knocking any ball, pressure on the ball in midfield.
There's no way to put a glossy wrapping on this. The United States, certainly in the first half, have looked sloppy defensively, and there's not been enough cutting edge at the other end either. So that's problems. Wolfsburg plays it long.
And that's 2 times in this half alone where they've missed that call. They've called it off and it's been on. So that's a dangerous, risky game for the United States. You want to play a tight line, but you got to be careful there.
Turnberg's cross. And Cox takes a stab at it. She had a lot of room just to control that. Instead, the attack continues with Dahlkvist. Wants a corner kick, and it's going to be a corner kick as well. Much to the United States' annoyance, and what they'll do is they'll keep the ball in the corner to prevent the USA getting the ball down the other end.
That's a good call because it came off Cox's foot there. And overall, what a strong performance by the Swedish team tonight, who had looked less than lethal in front of goal, had been struggling in the final third in this World Cup.
Yeah, they've gone for the short routine. Shaylin's done beautifully here. Going all the way. Look at that. What a run that was. And there was nobody who believed she was going to get there, waiting in the middle to tap it in.
And what a wonderful visual of what Shaylin can do. Plays for Lyon in France, who won the Champions League. Great creative player. She's had her way tonight.
This is the upset result so far of the Women's World Cup. No two ways about it. Morgan into the danger zone. Is there one last chance for the US to grab the point they need here? Morgan. And that is full time. The United States will have to play Brazil in a monumental weekend game in Dresden and get past that if they want to win this Women's World Cup. Stunning upset here, beaten by Sweden against the odds by 2-1. Sweden beating the USA for the second time this year, and the first time ever that the USA have lost a group game. Can they come back from that?
I think they can, but you're seeing a very discouraged looking side right now for the United States. That's going to have to change. This isn't the end of their World Cup. This is just the beginning, actually, but you're seeing behind them, look at Sweden. It's as if they just won the World Cup. And I always said when someone celebrates like that, that stuff comes back to haunt you, because this is a long road ahead. Good for them, but the World Cup is just starting.
But they deserve that, really. That's a wonderful result in Sweden's history. They play Australia. USA v Brazil now. What about that? Lots to discuss with Bob Lee.
Thank you, Ian and Julie. So much to discuss, and so a jubilant Swedish side, by far their best showing in this cup. And the United States has that date now with Brazil on Sunday. The U.S. playing tonight here in Wolfsburg with the full view of the German team. The Germans play here Saturday against